Welcome to the VideoMyJob pod, where we feature industry experts, on-the-tool practitioners, and VideoMyJob customers to help you activate your employer brand strategy and EVP. Welcome back to the VMJPod. I'm Megs, and in today's episode, we're excited to have Poncho Rivera-Pavon, a senior consultant in the employer branding team at Deloitte Australia, back for a follow-up on how they're boosting their graduate engagement through authentic employee stories. Now, last time we explored how Deloitte joined VideoMyJob's pilot program to create 102 branded employee videos in just 4 days, giving graduates an inside look at company culture, mentorship, and more. This time, Poncho is sharing the impact those videos had on graduate engagement, including how time spent on their GradConnection page doubled and how the videos became key conversation starters in job interviews. We'll also talk about what's next for Deloitte's recruitment strategy, including repurposing content, capturing new stories, and continuously aligning their message with what graduates really care about most. So let's dive into the next chapter of Deloitte's success with authentic employee-driven content. Poncho, I'm so excited to have this chat with you today. So thank you so much for coming back on our pod for our follow-up conversation. So just to recap for our listeners, we had you on the podcast, a few months ago now, after you had just finished the pilot program?
Yeah, it's gone, it's flown by.
It really has. I can't believe we're almost coming up to Christmas. But for our listeners, can you remind us what the process at Deloitte looked like for you prior to using VideoMyJob, and also why you decided to join the pilot program?
Right. So getting videos for us, we have a lot of different ways where we can do it, right? So we can do it through external vendors, and we have credits that we use with them. They edit and all that stuff. But then we also have an internal team that services the entire firm. So normally when we need to get a video, whether we record it or we get a third party to do it, it might take a little bit of time. So when we heard about VideoMyJob and the GradConnection pilot, we were like, okay, cool, let's give this a go and see what we can do. And little did we know, we ended up with 102 videos in 4 days. So that was pretty good.
That is amazing. And then again, just to recap, Poncho, previously, I mean, you've got an internal team. They are basically there to support your entire business. I
Yes.
feel like, talent acquisition, recruitment, marketing's really sitting at the bottom end of their priorities because, it's pretty much sitting at the bottom end of their priorities, right? So in terms of a
Mm.
wait time for you to get videos processed internally, what did that look like if we could compare 102 videos in 4 days versus what your previous process looked like?
Wow, it's just a little bit hard to put like a timestamp on it. But for example, like if they need to create like a couple of social cuts, so that is like little 30-second videos, to get like two or three of them, it might take us like a month.
Wow.
So it's yeah, and because I mean, as you said, they service the entire firm. So yeah, like our needs are also valid, and they will accommodate us as much as they can. But when you have a couple of partners asking for videos or things that are like money generating, then I mean those come first, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And we understand that, right?
Absolutely.
But now that you have a library of employee stories from graduates on your GradConnection page, can you talk us through some of the results that you've seen so far of having that now live?
Right. Yes. Well, what I can tell you, and the thing that blew our minds the most, is that people were talking about the videos in their interviews. So after we deployed them on Grad Connection, a couple of people went into an interview and they asked, someone said to me that they were like, we saw this video where this person was talking about certain topics, and then they asked about it. And it was not only one person, there were a couple of people who did that. So from our point of view, that is great, right? It's like, if you put out like a blockbuster movie and no one watches that, right? That's when you measure what it really works. And the fact that people were talking about that, that's a really good measure for us. But then the other metric that helps us realize that it was working is when people spend like the double amount of time on our Graph Connection profile. So it went from like a little bit under a minute to 2 minutes. So, doubling the time that they were spending in our profile, that's a really good metric. I mean, engagement, right?
Yep,
Mm.
absolutely. And just to kind of, sort of set the scene for our listeners as well, Poncho. So, so you created, that 102 videos in 4 days. You then created a story feed, which is a VMJ feature
Mhm.
that you can pop all of your employee stories into a library, essentially, that you can then
Yeah.
showcase on your Grad Connection page. And what are some of the just to share with our listeners, what are some of those employee stories like? How are they addressing things that graduates would be interested in, etc.? Can you sort of talk us through yeah, why they would be interested and why graduates are sort of spending a bit more time on that page?
Yeah, of course. So when we were planning what the stories were going to look like, we decided to focus on our AVP pillars, right? So studies from growth, the projects that they're involved in, some of the advice that they give potential graduates working with us, and it's all coming from our own graduates, right? So it's different when you see in a career fair or in an employee, like if you're going to a university and it's like the HR person talking to you. I mean, look, I'm from HR. I totally get it. They don't want to hear from us. They want to hear from the people who are doing the work. So that's what works because they can see people just like themselves who made it into Deloitte talking about their day to day life. That's what catches them and what really helps with the buy in, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember having a look at some of your videos, and you had things like, mentoring. So they get to come on, have a look at your different
Mm,
stories, and there's graduates talking about the mentorship that they receive at Deloitte, or what the
mm,
application process looks like, etc. So it's
yeah.
such a great way to, just to get that firsthand information from people that they, not that they don't trust the HR person, but I guess it is that sort of like a trust element there, isn't it? Would you say, Poncho?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. And because everyone's experience is a little bit different. So when they ask us what is the culture like, I mean, I can tell them what the culture is like in my team, but like to talk to them about like the difference between business units and the kind of work that they do, we cannot all speak to all of those. So you need to have people who are living and breathing it. So that's when you know that the story is clear for the audience that we want to attract. Like they will hear from what is truly mentoring like here at Deloitte, or what kind of projects are you going to be working on? And this is all really valuable information. I was even surprised by some of the projects that I had no idea about. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. I mean, you can't actually be across every single project that
Mm,
that people are working on across the business. So it's really great for for somebody else to be able to talk through that because they've actually been through the process. So
yeah.
amazing. I love this so much.
Mm,
So Poncho, so now you've got that up, you've had that up and live on your Grad Connection page. You've gotten a
mm,
boost in engagement. People are staying longer on the page. You can see, as you mentioned before, graduates are actually referencing the videos that they've watched. They obviously enjoy
mm.
the content you're putting out there. What does success look like? How would you sum up success for yourself and your team within this space? Yeah,
I think success is what we were talking about before, just the fact that people are watching these videos. Because the worst thing that you can do as a marketer is putting content out there that no one engages with it, right? So just the fact that people are watching it and talking about it in that interview is huge for us. Asking
yeah,
questions about, like, there was someone who referred to one of the girls who was talking about her experience in one of the teams. And they said, like, well, I watched a video of this person talking about that. Is that something that I would get involved in if I joined this team? Amazing. Like they came even more prepared than we can ever expect. So that's what success looks like for me.
yeah. And that's so great because I feel like when that happens, you know that people are resonating with the content that you're putting out there, and yeah,
Exactly.
and I feel like it might even kind of give you an indicator of the types of content that people sort of, as I said, resonating with and want more of versus like some of the content that
Yeah.
they might not. Yeah, and then you can easily kind of adapt and change that, which is really, yeah. which is
Yeah,
really
and you know what? Like employee generated content is the way to go. Like making it more real and curated in a way, but you're actually hearing from the people that you want to hear from.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's great.
So good.
Mm.
And Poncho, what is next for your team? How will you continue to use Video My Job and incorporate video content into your strategy?
Well, we're probably going to use some of those videos and some of the content in those to create some blog posts and just collect all of that information. Given that we have people talking about, for example, I don't know, um, learning and development. So, because we have so many people talking about that, we can actually put all that together and put a blog together to show people what it looks like from different, multiple perspectives. But then also just getting new videos because you're hearing from the people who started this year, but I also want them to hear from the people that are starting with us in March. So maybe in June, we'll create like a brand new suite of videos, and that would be very good. And then our library, we will keep growing.
Mm.
So that's our point of view from now, and it's a big part of our strategy to continue on this path.
I love that. Yeah, because I just want to, again, just for our listeners, I just want to touch on a few different things. So, you've got it on GradConnection now. You're now getting to repurpose that content into blog posts and pop it,
Mm,
in other channels as well.
mm,
And yeah, and it's such a great way. And then also because it's so easy, it sounds like that it was such an easy, quick and easy process for you to get new videos. So being able to continuously get new videos from your new graduates is yeah
mm.
will allow you to create that fresh content come June when your June
Yeah.
intake happens again. Yeah, amazing.
And doing it so easily, it doesn't take that long. Just the fact that I know that I can get so much done in so little time, it's already a selling point on its own.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, again, I just want to reiterate that was 102 two branded videos in 4 days when that
Fully
took place.
branded.
Yeah.
No editing involved. I just had to like get the popcorn out, watch them, and just make sure that they everything was okay.
I love this so much. Thank you so much for coming back on, Poncho. I really, really appreciate it. We're so glad that you're getting the results that you're wanting and the success that you were hoping for. And we
Mm.
look forward to continuing to see what amazing things you guys come up with, and as you continue to improve and grow your strategy.
Yeah, there might be a part three. Who knows?
Definitely, definitely. Watch the space, people.
Watch this space. Absolutely.
Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to learn more about activating your employer brand strategy and EVP, then check out podcast.videomyjob.com for a library of industry perspectives and how-tos. Now, if you're ready to level up your activation strategy, then you need an employee story video platform, and that's what we do. Go to VideoMyJob.com/demo to book a walkthrough with one of our video specialists, or click on the pricing page to learn about our new 90-day pilot program. Lastly, we would love for you to help us spread the word about the VMJ pod to attract new experts and practitioners to share their activation strategies. So please take a screenshot of wherever you're listening and post it on LinkedIn. Don't forget to tag us, as we're so grateful when you do that.